A very good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you on this session where we're talking about, what the future has for us. We're talking about business analytics, data analytics. I'm Varun Jain. I'm the CEO of Miles Education, and it's a pleasure for me to host this webinar for all of you. And we have a very, very special guest. Mr. Anish Agarwal. So he's a Global Director of Data Analytics at Royal Bank of Scotland, and Anish, has agreed to spend some time with all of us today to talk about, the relevance of business analytics and data analytics and how it sort of impacts all of us. It impacts businesses around the world. It's changed the way businesses drive their decision making. And so Anish is going to talk about business and data analytics, and I'm also going to spend some time on this session talking about the program by IIM Lucknow and Wiley. This is a executive education program in business and data analytics, which again helps you upskill in business and data analytics, gets you the certification, as well as an alumni status, an MDP alumni status from IIM Lucknow. So this is a very, very interesting program, sort of not just upskilling you, but also giving you a lot of credibility, as you have the IIM Lucknow alumni status. But before we get into the program, I would sort of hand over to Anish to talk about his experience and the relevance of business and data analytics today and going forward. So thank you, Anish, again for joining in, and over to you.
Thanks, Arun. Thanks for the warm introduction. I'm just trying to figure out how do I share my screen. I apparently don't.
I will make you the presenter. I've just made you the presenter. 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, you are a presenter now.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, very well, Anish.
Okay, super. Thank you so much, Varun, for starting that out. Good evening, everyone. As Varun said, I'm Anish Agarwal. I work with Royal Bank of Scotland in the capacity of Director for Data and Analytics. Perhaps what I will be running you through in next half an hour, 45 minutes is an overview of data and analytics in the current context of COVID-19. So, there are a number of studies which have been published, and I'm sure you guys would have also come across studies which points out what is the data that's currently looking around, the way COVID is emerging, number of countries impacted, and basis the data that we have in hand, there are a number of probability theories which are also doing the rounds in terms of how can we, contain this overall spread, and what could be the minimum possible turnaround to get cure of this particular epidemic. But beyond that, let's come back on data and analytics, a fairly interesting subject. So let's keep this session as interactive as we can. And of course, if you have any questions, you can either write the questions to, using the panel on your right, or you can wait towards for the end of the session where we will be more than happy to take questions from you. So let's start with data and analytics. The way I've constructed this presentation run through is I've split this into two parts. So first is I'll talk about data, and the second is the analytics. But I think it is important that we should also have an understanding of what exactly is data, why are we talking about data now, why have we not been talking about, why were we not talking about data for almost 5 years or 10 years ago or previously, what's really the importance of data now. So let's get started. What you see right now on the screen is essentially the three phases of evolution of technology. That's how the technology has progressed over, if we were to bucket them into three key phases. The first one is the period for 98,000 years. That's when, as mankind, we were able to develop the use of fire, language, and the wheel. Then came the second phase, which was for the period of close to 14,000 years, of course, much lesser than 98,000 years. And during these 14,000 years, we developed civilization, science, and maths as a practice, printing, press, governments, towering churches, and steam engines. And then comes the current period, which is close to 120 years, so 1900 to 2020. And if you look at what we have developed or invented in these 120 years is much more as compared to the previous 2 years, which is 14,000 and 98,000. And what have we really achieved in these 120 years is the use of electricity, the World Wide Web, communication systems, computers, space travel, and of course the way we are interacting right now, it's one of the different mediums of technology which we use. So clearly a broad spectrum of inventions which have really aided and enabled us to have a seamless life and connectivity, and it's really shortened the overall world. But why has it really happened? If you look at the overall trajectory of technological progress, and if you have time on the x-axis and human progress on the y-axis, as you would notice that it's not a linear curve. And what do I mean when I say linear curve? Is if we were to understand that only three things were invented by mankind in 98,000 years, if it was to follow a linear curve, that actually means that in next 98,000 years, we would have invented another three. But clearly that's not the case. There are certain points in the evolution journey of technology which are understood to be the points which are points of deflection. And what exactly happens during this is when technology reaches this particular stage, it actually engrosses a lot of disruption. And it's a positive disruption. By disruption, I mean it has the capability and the potential to actually change things significantly. If you look at smartphones apparently is a very right example of the way it disrupted or changed the way we actually understood a normal mobile phone or even phone. From what we used to use phones only for connecting with our near and dear ones, today we have a significant dependency on phones for not just making calls or sending texts, but also shopping. Also, we also use our phones for banking as well. And you never know, some of us may also be using the phone to attend this webinar as well. So clearly, in thinking about what the world would look like in next 30 years, i.e. 2047, we really cannot compare that with how life looked 30 years ago, because it's not a linear curve. So you never know, in next 30 years, there would be a new spectrum, a ball game of technology that evolves or comes into play. And that's where the discussion around the data comes. Why we're talking about data right now is with the onset of new technological setups, we now have the power to tap data, to compile data, to engage with data. And given we've got access to data set and we can compile and we can analyze the data, it actually means that we can use it in a meaningful manner to try and understand not just patterns, but also understand and design new products. And we'll talk about the benefits as we progress. So data, as it's understood, it's big data. If you break the word big and data, big means really big. That's what data, big data means. So just to simplify, if you are only talking about the data set of all the attendees for this webinar, and let's say if in that data set we're talking about the name, the age, let's say the education qualification, and the city from where you are, attending this webinar from. It's fairly easy for us to compile the data set. Maybe a few hundreds or 1,000 lines in Excel would do the trick. However, if you were to compile a similar data set for all the people in New Delhi, that's where I'm hosting this webinar from, it actually would be enormous, huge, and we can also call that as big data. So big data essentially is characterized by large volumes of different types of data. It could be social, i.e. The data around the society. It could be the web in terms of your emails and stuff. It could be transactions, whether it's a transaction which you're making on the shopping portal for buying a new product or on your bank, and which can be built very fairly quickly. So what are the sources of big data? Essentially, there are four key sources that we understand we can use to compile big data. First, of course, is the mobile phone. As it's said that there are almost 10 billion mobile devices which are connected right now across the globe. That's a fairly big number, 10 billion. If you were to understand how big a billion is, I'm sure which you may already know. So 10 lakhs make a million and 1,000 millions make a billion. And we're talking about 10 billion here. The computers, of course, is another source of compiling big data. We use computers not just to browse web. We also use computers to send emails, both business and professional. We also use computers to browse our social, engaging websites as well. And then comes sensors. I'm sure you may have observed if while visiting a shopping mall or a big showroom, there would be a guy standing right at the entrance with a small device, and each time guest walks in and walks out, he or she will click that device. Essentially, what that guy is trying to do is that guy is trying to log in number of people who are visiting that particular showroom. Gone are those days. What really can, with the onset of technology, the mall owners or even the big showrooms can actually deploy these sensors, which actually track the movement. These are movement-based sensors, and they compile number of people visiting a particular shop every time they are in or out. Now, look at the power of this information. While it, on the face of it, it looks fairly simple. Okay, that's fine. I've got the count of people who attend or who walk into a showroom every day. But if you break that data, that actually means that I have the power to understand every hour how many people are visiting. That's one. I also have a power to understand on which weekday is the high volume, which weekday is the low volume. So it's about your ability to interpret and analyze the data, which means that we can using the data, a particular mall can actually design the offers basis the number of footfalls. So, and that's what you may have seen over the weekends. The majority of sales are run over the weekend just to ensure their maximum footfalls. And during weekdays, it's fairly simple and easy. It's not as busy. And then, of course, comes a social aspect. So each time you're placing a tweet on a Twitter or writing a post on LinkedIn, or even writing views on LinkedIn, or engaging with your friends or family on Facebook, you're generating data. That's the social side of the data. There are 5 V's in relation to big data which we need to be mindful of. The first is the velocity, which is the speed at which the data is generated. This is primarily because there are a number of avenues which are available. Every minute, gigs and gigs of data is being generated across the globe. The volume, as I said earlier, the amount of data, if we are generating, let's say 1 GB of data every second, look at the volume of data that gets generated in a minute or in an hour. Then comes a variety of data. It could be, the data could be either the transaction data, or it could also be the data around the social media posts, or it could be data around maybe if you are interacting with any other channel on your mobile or even in a computer, it could be variable kinds of data. The veracity bit, which is the reliability and trust. Now, historically, the way it used to work was if an organization wanted to have an understanding of the market, the organization would hire a third-party agency, and the third-party agency would actually deploy its staff at various locations and try to take feedback from people. They could either walk into people's home or stand at a shopping mall and ask various questions. Now, let's say if the survey is about which is your favorite TV brand, they will have a paper which will have a set of questions, and they will try to ask you those questions, and based on the inputs, they'll go back and extrapolate those answers into an Excel and then run the data. Now, with that in mind, there's always a risk of inaccurate data set, because everything's been done manually. But today, if I was to run a survey, all I have to do is just send you a link. That's one bit. The second is, I don't even have to run a survey. Taking Amazon as an example, Amazon doesn't need to run a survey to understand what customers are buying, because all they need to do is just download a data report from their portal and see what are the number of products which have been bought, what is the average value of the product, and which city is actually buying for what value. And I must point to the fact that I'm so sure you would have experienced the Great Indian Festival that Amazon launches on a fairly regular basis in the Indian market. Do take an opportunity to look at some stats that Amazon publishes right after finishing the Great Indian Festival. While for them it's a marketing move, but for me it's more of a valuable insight. So Amazon publishes the details around how successful that particular campaign was for them in terms of number of people who purchased, which cities actually witnessed, how many orders, what was average turnaround time, how quickly the order was delivered and stuff. So next time the Great Indian Festival kicks in, do take an opportunity to read through these insights. And then comes the value of the data. Data is considered to be very, very valuable. If you talk of 2 companies, Amazon and Uber, Uber as as a cab service provider today is world's most valuable cab service provider. And if you think of it, they do not own even a single cab. They do not own even a single taxi, but they're still the most valuable cab provider. Why? Because all they're doing is they're capitalizing on data. What data are they capitalizing on? One, the data of me as a passenger, and the second, data of a driver. So what's my data set? They're actually using my location and my request as a data. Okay, Anish needs a cab at this particular point. And the second data is a cab and the cab driver's availability. The driver is available at point B. A is equal to B, and that's what they're doing. They're acting as an intermediary between the passenger and the driver. That's what they're doing. So essentially, it's all about how best can you capitalize on the value of data. What are the forms or types of big data? Broadly, we categorize them under three key buckets. The first is the structured data, the mainframe, which is actually the kind of data which can be used for any of the systems. Now, these are all the storage systems, the mainframe, SQL Server, Oracle, and various databases. This is a cleaner form of data which has been wrangled, which has been cleansed. The second is unstructured data, which is social media, chats. In essence, this could be the qualitative data, the digital videos, or any other data that gets generated. The third is multi-structured or hybrid. Now, hybrid is a mix of structured and unstructured. So, for example, if you're making a purchase on Amazon, that's a structured data, because Amazon can actually quantify that data in terms of the number of orders that you have placed and what is the average value of that order. However, after you have purchased the product, what is the review that you're writing about that product is a unstructured data, because Amazon cannot quantify that remark. There's only one way using which Amazon can quantify is using the number of stars that you give. And there's a different debate altogether in terms of whether the review is fake or genuine. It gets really difficult, and I have experience, and I'm sure some of you may have also experienced this as well, that as we progress, the number of reviews or the star rating of reviews actually is less credible, because the number of stars is not sacrosanct with the feedback that one's written. There are so many times I've seen someone's given a 5-star rating to a product and the feedback is not in sync with 5 stars. The feedback is, yes, it's an okay product. You may or you may not buy. That's how it is. So that's the form, various types and forms of data. Data is understood to be the new oil. And why do we say that? For 3 reasons. First is, if you look at the world's most valuable companies 5 years ago, and this is market value of these organizations by their market cap, in the current context, the technology companies are perhaps the most valuable companies. 5 years ago, majority of oil and natural gas companies were the key players. So these were ExxonMobils of the world. But today, what you see on the slide, the logo of biggest technology companies like Amazon, Uber's, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, and Tesla. Now, if you sum total their worth, it's much bigger than the oil and petroleum companies, to an extent that there is a term that was coined called GAFA. GAFA stands for Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Apple. And if you sum total their net worth, it actually is much bigger than the economy or the overall economic value of many countries across the globe. So look at the level of impact that these companies are today having on the global economy. That's the first reason. The second is, just like the way oil brought the industrial revolution, data has brought the fourth industrial revolution. Today, each and every company has an appetite to compile and manage data, for only one reason, because data provides them ability to not just design new products, but also understand customers' behavior and sentiments as well. We'll talk about the benefits of data and analytics as we progress. The third reason why data is new oil is because, similarly, what you see on this on the chart on the slide here, we can do a lot of if we were to get into the mining space, oil is actually explored. So, and using data, we can explore a number of important sets of information, whether it's customer behavior, customer buying pattern, what is the trend around the sales, or whether the profits are uplifting or declining and stuff. So in a sense, that's the background around data. If you talk about analytics now, what you see on the slide is potato, my favorite vegetable apparently. Why do I have potatoes, image of potato on the slide? Is because just like the way potato is edible with any vegetable, similarly, today, the word analytics is actually useful and equally engaging with whatever you do with data, irrespective of the industry or the sector. As an example, if you postfix the word analytics with any other term, you can actually run analytics. So you may have heard terms like digital analytics, web analytics, sales analytics, marketing analytics, finance analytics, HR analytics, people analytics. It could be anywhere. So what really makes this possible is because the underlying principle or underlying thought or the realism behind this is the availability of data. Whichever is the instance you've got access to data, you can actually run analytics. In today's context, analytics has actually become of a fairly important element of the way businesses understand and they operate. And analytics is actually understood to be an equally competent and an important function in parallel to other critical functions like HR, finance, and marketing, and of course, not discounting the sales or business development side of the business as well. So what is data and analytics? Analytics is the use of data. We've heard it. Using the systems, it could be various systems. SAS could be one of the systems. It could be Hadoop. It could be Teradata or any other database systems, which is aided by statistical analysis and quantitative methods. We'll talk about it, and mathematical or computer-based models. Now, there's one thing that I would like to spend some time on this slide is the last three bullets under the analytics bit, which is the statistical analysis, quantitative methods, and mathematical or computer-based models. Each time someone reads these three bullet points, there seems to be some level of nervousness in people where they start feeling, oh, you know what, I don't have a maths background. I don't have a technical background. I haven't studied C, C++ or SQL. So I'm not really sure whether I can build my career in analytics or I can work in the analytics domain. The fact is, it's a myth. Analytics is a two-pronged approach. Yes, there is a need to learn coding, but you don't need to be an expert coder to run analytics. The only reason why you need to know the coding aspect is because it is important that you know the use of various systems which aid the use of analytics. That's one. And the second bit is this maths or the statistical side of the story. You don't need to be a prodigy in maths. All you need to know is basic concepts of statistics and probability. That's about it. Majority of work that's done in data and analytics is based on the theory of a hypothesis. Whether A is true or B is true, that's about it. And these hypotheses are run basis the data points that you have available. So, and business analytics is a subset of data analytics. The reason I say that is data analytics is a fairly broad spectrum. Business analytics is one part, and then comes data science, data engineering, data visualization, and many other roles under the overall ambit of data and analytics. Now, what are types of analytics? There are four types of analytics. Rather, I would not even call them types of analytics. These are four phases of analytics. On the side, you will see a graph. On the x-axis, we've got the level of difficulty, and on the y-axis, we've got the value. Of course, it's a natural principle. Good things come at a price. So, if you want to derive more value, the analysis part gets slightly difficult. Now, it doesn't get difficult to an extent that it's impossible. Difficulty in the sense that you may need to wrangle or do a more granular analysis to actually derive a more meaningful outcome. And of course, it's a progression from hindsight, insight to foresight. That means you have access to an information, and then you move on to the optimization bit. So essentially, these are four key phases. One is descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. Descriptive is about what happened. Diagnostic is about why did it happen. Predictive is about what will happen. And the prescriptive is how can we make it happen. The journey of business analytics or a business analyst actually comprises of all these four. It is not that if you are a business analyst, you'll only be running descriptive or diagnostic analytics. No, that's not the case. It's all about what is the need of the business. Your business may come back to you with a data set and ask you, why did this happen? This is the data. Let me know. Now, let me give you an interesting example here. And this is a very simple case study that we normally ask candidates to appear when they are when they appear for a data analytics interview. And this is the famous Titanic case study. And this is where I would also like to stress that while you may learn certain tools or skills in data analytics, it is also equally important for you to have a background or understanding of the business that you are part of. You may be part of a telecom organization, you may be part of a banking setup, you may be part of a healthcare organization. It is important that you know the business, because unless you know the business, you will not be able to find the real challenges. So let's come back on a Titanic case study. So what we do is, if we have access to a data set, and the data set is basically all about the passengers of Titanic, can we predict what will be the survival rate? Okay, on the face of it, looks fairly stupid and ridiculous. You know what? You've got access to data set. How can you predict how many people would survive if Titanic was to sink? But let's try and understand, have a look at the data. So if in the data set, I've got the details of the passengers, i.e., of course, the name. I also have the passenger ID, which is a unique ID assigned to each and every passenger. I've got the age, I've got the gender, and I've also have the port of boarding and the port of destination, i.e., the place where the passenger boarded the ship and what's the ultimate destination. Now, an unconscious bias would actually may say that, okay, let's derive a hypothesis where males versus females, 40 females and 60 males. Men are more active than women, so there could be possibility more men will survive. But that's a biased view. Let's base it on more real time, or more basis the quality of or the attributes of data. One of the attributes of the passenger ID in Titanic was shorter the passenger ID, closer that passenger would have been seated to the lifeboat. So essentially what that meant was, if the passenger ID was 01, that means the probability of that passenger getting a seat near the lifeboat was much greater. And what that directly meant was there is a high possibility or probability of that passenger surviving, because the access to lifeboat was much easier. So that's where it is important for you to have an understanding of each and every metric. The question there could be various questions. What will happen? So COVID-19, what will happen on to the banking sector amidst the current situation of COVID-19? You can actually try to define this using the data sets. So number of customers still walking into the branch, that's one, while there are none right now. Number of customers who may probably default on the EMIs, that's the second data set. Number of customers applying for a new loan, or opening a new bank account, that's a third data set. Now, if you've got these three simple data sets, I think ballpark, you may on average predict what will really impact, whether the banking sector would get into decline, the growth will decline, or will it still grow at a greater speed. That's a very simple example. And then the how can we make it happen part. So, okay, we've got a problem where the COVID-19 may impact the banking sector. How can we mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on the banking sector? But again, that's another thing, that's another way you can answer this question. You can run structured campaigns, marketing campaigns for the customers. Now, it's not the campaign, i.e. a telecaller calling the customer, but you know that there are people who are still earning, who still receive their salary. So maybe the banks can offer them a preferred rate of interest as opposed to a regular rate of interest, and offer discount on things which people can buy while sitting at home. So in that case, they're still trying to tap market potential, but they're also trying to engage more customers as well. So the tools for analytics, multiple tools. So Python, R, and SAS are the most famous tools. There's no favorite within the analytics community. However, I must share my view in terms of ease of learning. Python perhaps is the easiest of all, followed by SAS and R. SAS was and even today is one of the most prominent data analytical tools in the market. It has a wide-ranging capabilities and extensive preference by huge corporates, but Python's gradually overtaking SAS. Big corporates like Netflixes, Amazons, and other conglomerates today run Python for multiple reasons. The ease of use. Python is an open source platform, and of course, the learning curve is much shorter. So no definite recommendation. It really depends where your appetite is and what organization that you currently are working for, and what that organization, which tool is that organization using. Bear in mind, SAS is not a language, SAS is a tool, R is a language, Python is both a tool and a language. Data visualization is an important aspect. So far, we've been pulling charts in Excels of the world. However, today, the power of data helps us to understand and visualize data in a much better way, the information in a much better way. On the screen, you see a visualization of diamond pricing. Each dot here reflects the number of diamonds sold. What you have on the x-axis is a carat, and on the y-axis is the price. Now, this clearly shows me the penetration of greater the carat value, what is the price, and how many diamonds have been purchased. This is one of the data visualizations that was pulled using Tableau, one of my favorites, by the way. A great tool, offers great interactivity. You can actually use a drill down feature in Tableau, create a lot of dashboards, storylines, and it's much easier. The best part about Tableau, it doesn't need any coding. It's a simple drag and drop methodology. However, the science behind using Tableau is you need to have a right understanding of what data you need to use for visualization. This is one of the dashboards that we prepared using Tableau. As you can see, a number of these cannot be pulled in Excel, but Tableau gives us an ability to actually visualize information in a much more meaningful manner. Talking about the benefits of data and analytics, it enhances the customer experience. It helps the corporates to meet the regulatory requirements, helps in fraud prevention, helps in managing risk in a better way, and of course, it significantly helps in reducing the operating costs of an organization as well. Now, if you were to look at a couple of examples here, how does data and analytics help in improving customer experience? Now, if a bank knows how much are you spending on a particular product, or let's say at a particular grocery store, the bank may be able to come back to you with a customized offer. And you may have seen there are banks who may come back and say, you know what, if you use our credit or debit card at Big Bazaar as an example, you get 5% cash back. Why is it that not every credit card company offers a certain cash back at every merchant? Amazon ties up with a number of banks on a regular basis for giving a cashback on a credit card or a debit card purchase. These are all structured campaigns which helps one to enhance the customer experience. The reduction in operating costs is an important bit, because as a business analyst, one of the aims of data and analytics is to help organizations identify where exactly are their spillages in terms of excess costs. Now, if you're able to understand the data very clearly, so let's take an example of supply chain, for example. Every organization has a number of vendor partners, and they have dependency on those vendor partners for various important supply requirements. Now, telecom could be one of them. Now, if an organization has a data point of how much have they paid to a particular vendor over the period of last 5 years, extrapolate that with the current trend in the market, I think it will help them to cut operating costs to a large extent. Companies have been using analytics to cut operating costs around the transport, expenses that they have incurred, operating costs around the property. What's the average value that they're paying per square feet for a particular building versus same price that, or the price that they're paying per square feet for the same area in some other location. So saving costs on the location bit as well. And there are a number of other examples which can perhaps be used. So that fairly brings me to an end. Before I conclude, I would like to stress a couple of points. One, as I said, business analytics is one of the most important functions and has earned its respect and place in every corporate in today's parlance. Similar to HR, finance, risk, I think it's exactly the same. So it is a fairly important function. That's one. The second is, if you build a career in business analytics, you will have a large a possibility that you're actually you're making yourself agnostic of working in any sector. So similar to the support functions like sales, HR, you don't need to be oriented towards telecom or manufacturing or healthcare. Analytics is acceptable across the spectrum of industries. That's the second bit. The third thing is about the future, prospects of business analytics. I would say I would give a 10 out of 10. Analytics isn't going anywhere for next 20 years for sure. If you start getting into business analytics, a number of other branches or channels around business analytics you can actually venture into, and it's all about making your career future proof. So with that, I come to an end of my presentation. We'll take the questions towards the end, and we'll also see if you have any questions on the panel. Thanks, Varun. Over to you.
Okay, thanks so much, Anish. Thanks for all the information and for helping us understand the relevance of business and data analytics and how it is all pervasive. So, guys, what I'm going to do now is spend a little bit of time talking about the IIM Lucknow and Wiley Executive Education Program in Business and Data Analytics. So, let me quickly share my screen. Okay. Okay, so here it is. Okay, great. So guys, we are talking about a very unique program where IIM Lucknow has partnered with Wiley, which is one of the leading education learning solutions provider in the world. And they've come together and created this executive education program in business and data analytics. Now, this is the only executive program in the country which builds business leaders for a digital economy, for tomorrow's economy, for today's and tomorrow's economy, to leverage data, technology, as well as domain knowledge for business growth and effectiveness. So guys, this is a very, very unique program where you have IIM Lucknow, you have the industry partnership with Wiley, and this program is power packed. It's an executive program spread over 6 months. It includes 2 immersions at IIM Lucknow, where you travel to the IIM Lucknow Noida campus in the beginning and at the end of the program. So you travel for 3 days in the beginning, then it's 6 months of live online training by IIM Lucknow professors, by industry experts, thought leaders, and at the end you travel again to Lucknow, to the IIM Lucknow campus for 3 days. So 3 days in the beginning, 6 months live online, 3 days at the end. And when you successfully complete the program, and of course the program is rigorous, it involves a few examinations, projects, but it's sort of made for working professionals, right? Because you're spending only a few hours on the weekend. So 4 hours on the weekend is what you spend in terms of learning, and you may have a few more hours of your own hands-on practice. And at the end of the program, you also get an alumni status, an MDP alumni status from IIM Lucknow. So let me sort of do a quick poll just to see the level of interactivity that we have on this session. So let me ask a question in terms of how exciting for you is it to get an alumni status from one of the top IIMs? Okay, great. Here are the results. So 33% find it super exciting, 43% find it exciting. So we have a majority of you super excited about this alumni status from a top IIM. Great. Okay, now let me have a another question in terms of how much are you using data analytics tools in your business, or or these are things that you want to look at as you progress up the ladder or in your next job. So let's have it from you. Okay, so great. 25% of the audience is already using data analytics tools. Great. You would be able to relate a lot to what you're already doing on the job. 67% are looking forward to learn data analytics. So a very warm welcome to this session, and we hope we help you progress to the next level. Few of you are not really aware of data analytics, so great. Welcome to you as well. Good. So guys, in this program, basically we cover data analytics. The basic premise of data business and data analytics, and how do you actually use tools like Python, and Anish spoke about that. How do you use data analytics tools like Python? How do you use data visualization tools like Tableau for impactful data analytics as well as data visualization? So, a quote from Forbes which says, every company is a technology company, no matter what product or service it provides. And today, every company is a data company, whether they know it or not. The companies that embrace this fact are the ones that shape the world. No company can make, deliver, or market its product efficiently without technology and data. So guys, irrespective of whichever sector you were working in, and also I would say irrespective of whichever function you're in, business analytics and data analytics is relevant to you as you look at becoming a business leader of tomorrow, right? So it says to remain relevant, leaders and professionals must understand how technology and data affect their businesses. This does not just mean one idea for a new technology product idea or an app or a new website. It means really understanding how technologies such as AI and analytics organically flow through the business and shapes the market and customer demands and supply synergies. Again, companies that quickly adapt to new technologies gain a foothold in the market, and professionals like yourself who can leverage data, technology, and business expertise to reimagine customer experience, new product innovation, or bring in business efficiency will be the leaders of tomorrow. And that, guys, is the agenda, the premise wherein this program was created by IIM Lucknow and Wiley. So this program was developed by top faculty at IIM Lucknow and Wiley, along with the Wiley Innovation Advisory Council. So I'll talk about this council, which has got few members from the academia, a lot of industry experts, thought leaders in analytics, AI, and emerging technologies. Basically, we have the who's who of the country on this council, and it's developed in consultation with this council. The program is a 6-month program, which is a complete experiential learning program, which basically helps you not just understand the concept, also apply those concepts to context. So hands-on use of data and analytics to solve real-life problems across multiple industries and enterprise functions. So again, as I said, this program is sector agnostic, function agnostic. So irrespective of your sector and your function, if you're looking at using data and analytics to power your business decisions, this is the program for you. So again, the program has got classes from IIM Lucknow faculty. It's got master classes by top industry experts, and a lot of them are from the Wiley Innovation Advisory Council. You get access to online labs, various business cases, and real life projects as well, right? So so basically all of these, they seek to deliver a strong expertise in the power of data, help you build up a foundation in technologies for exploring and analyzing data, communicating insights from data, right? So it's not just about analyzing data, it's presenting data in high impact dashboards. It's about telling a story with data storytelling, the art and science of data storytelling. It gives you exposure to apply machine learning algorithms in various business scenarios. So sort of picks up from big data analytics to gets you a starter into machine learning. And basically it's ultimately about converting a business problem to an analytics problem, and thereby helping build business processes and strategies underpinned by technology. So you have the program outcome around business and data analytics. So again, we're looking at data analytics expertise, we're looking at technology expertise, the analytics mindset. Again, as I said, a business problem becomes an analytics problem where you use data to drive business decisions, data to solve business problems, and also business expertise, because what you learn from this program is actionable analytics that you could use across industries and across enterprise functions to drive business growth, business effectiveness. Now, as I said, the program has 6 days of immersion learning at the IIM Lucknow Noida campus. So 3 days in the beginning. So IIM Lucknow Noida campus is for most of the executive programs that are run by IIM Lucknow. It sort of becomes more reachable, right? So you'll end up at Delhi and less than 2 hours from the airport for you to get to Noida. So you travel to Noida for 3 days, where you have faculty from IIM Lucknow. You have industry experts from Wiley, thought leaders from Wiley Innovation Advisory Council taking masterclass. So power packed 3 days, and then you get back home, get back to your job. Every week on weekends, on Saturdays and or Sundays, you're going to have 4 hours of classes that happens over 6 months. And at the end of 6 months of live online classes, you again go back to Noida at the IIM Lucknow Noida campus. Again, 3 days of immersion learning, and by the end of the program, if you've sort of completed all the cases, the projects, you're good to go in terms of number one, you've upskilled yourself in business and data analytics. You have a certification for that upskilling, and you also have the alumni status from IIM Lucknow. Right, so it's hands-on learning, labs, cases, project work. So you also have access to an online library, which is by Wiley. So a lot of ingredients put together in this program, where the agenda is we're looking at creating business leaders for tomorrow, who of course have an understanding of business problems, who have an understanding of the business, but how they can also use business analytics and data analytics to drive business growth. Right, so learning experience, as I said, is immersions at IIM Lucknow, live online classes, access to Wiley learning resources, lab work, case studies, master classes, and I will soon introduce you to the Wiley Innovation Advisory Council. You have a project work. So again, guys, a lot of you are working professionals, but it is basically back to books, back to learning, where you're looking at upskilling yourself, also making yourself more credible as an IIM Lucknow alumnus for business and data analytics, and applying that on your job. So it's not just about learning which is disintegrated from your job, it's learning and apply it on your job. Or let's say if you don't have analytics on your current job, you're looking at a progression in your career where your next job would have application of analytics as you are out there to create business value. Right, so validation ceremony on the IIM Lucknow Noida campus. I've spoken about benefits for the participants, a lot of exposure, a lot of learning. We also have a lot of companies who are sponsoring for this program. So if your organization is sponsoring for this program, and you want us to get in touch, we're more than happy to sort of connect with them. And naturally, it's sort of a win-win for everyone, right? So you win because you upskill, you get the credibility. Your organization wins because they now have you who will be able to more effectively and efficiently create business value. Okay, let's spend a couple of minutes on the program curriculum. So it starts with orientation and introduction to data analytics, and of course, statistics is important, right? So talk about the regressions, the probabilities, and all the advanced stats. So that's part of the program. Module 3 is data handling. How do you handle data? Module 4 is exploratory analysis. Module 5 is big data analytics and data visualization. So that's like So analytics using Python, data visualization using Tableau. Module 6 is machine learning techniques. Again, so the focus, I mean, of course you do learn the tool, but the focus is on understanding analytics, understanding the concept of analytics so that you're able to apply it to context. Understanding machine learning, and then you hands-on do it on Python, right? Predictive modeling techniques, you get an exposure to deep learning, which leads on to AI, analytics across enterprise operations and industries. And of course, there's a capstone project and presentation. Look at the list of master classes that you have on this program, and that sort of gets you really excited. So it's got AI and emerging technology. So you talk about blockchain, RPA, IoT. So you're sort of looking at how enterprises are transforming using AI, analytics, and emerging technologies. You have analytics and AI-led strategies for CXOs. You have marketing analytics. You have digital analytics, that's image, text, video, and voice analytics. Analytics for retail and e-commerce. Analytics for finance and accounting, analytics for insurance and fintech, customer analytics, risk analytics, IT operation analytics, spend analytics, predictive asset maintenance, and then analytics in healthcare business. So guys, as you can understand, looking at the list of master classes, this is across enterprises and across functions, right? So this is basically really the focus here is to help you be a future ready business leader. The program runs across 6 months, and as I said, 6 days of immersions at the IIM Lucknow campus, and the total course time is about 150 hours, slightly over 150 hours. The cost for the fees for this program is 199,000 plus GST. So that's the fee that you pay, for the program. And at the end of the program, you pay another 10,000 rupees plus GST for the IIM Lucknow alumni status. So your total spend is sort of including GST. It's going to be south of 250,000 bucks. But a program which really adds a lot of value in terms of your skill sets, plus in terms of your credibility as a business professional, as a future ready business leader. We had a program which we had the first cohort of this program last year, which very recently graduated out, and the next cohort starts on May 21st, 2020. I know we are in a COVID-19 situation now, so depending on how things go until May, we'll sort of have the final thing on the program. But the couple of options that IIM Lucknow is exploring, just in case the scenario doesn't get so good and we're still in a stage where we're doing social distancing, what IIM Lucknow is looking at is the program would still start in May, but it would start with the live online classes. The immersion, which was supposed to be at the beginning of the program, may be towards the middle of the program. So there'll be an immersion in the middle at the end instead of beginning and the end. So that's the alternative, right? So we sort of have to continue learning, continue upskilling, and this is a great opportunity. Guys, for the main batch, we have an eligibility test, which is happening on the 4th of April. So would appreciate, all of you, who are interested in the program to really get going, sign up for that. And if you pass the eligibility test is when, you would get a confirmation from IIM Lucknow and Wiley in terms of your acceptance into this program. Now, just in case, you've written the test, you've passed the test, and your application is accepted by IIM Lucknow, what we plan to do is between April 10th to 14th. So that's still within the period of the lockdown that we have in the country. We also plan to have a few special sessions on design thinking for all the program participants. So it's basically like trying to use a little bit of a downtime, or I know most of you are working from home, but you still have some time where you're saving time on commute, and sometimes work from home may not be as aggressive as work from office. So the agenda is trying to use this a little bit of a downtime to give you skill sets which are valuable. So Wiley is running a special program on design thinking, and of course it's at zero charge. There's no cost. Because we're looking at this more as a preview for the participants who are anyways going in for the May batch. So These are the program directors that you have here, Dr. Ashish Dubey and Dr. Gaurav Garg. A couple of PDs from IIM Lucknow. Guys, I'm sure you guys are aware, IIM Lucknow is among the top 4 IIMs in the country. So you have the League of Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, Lucknow. So one of the top 4 IIMs, a very prestigious institution. And as I said, this is a high impact program created, by combining the strengths of IIM Lucknow and Wiley. So let me spend a little bit of time talking about Wiley, which is a global leader in learning solutions. Wiley has been around for over 200 years, so since 1807, right? And 470 plus Nobel laureates have written for Wiley. So 470 plus Nobel laureates are Wiley authors. So guys, you know that only a handful of people get the Nobel Prize every year, and sort of you combine the number of people who've gotten Nobel prizes till date, and 470 plus are Wiley authors. So you sort of know the credibility of Wiley in terms of their content, in terms of education, in terms of research, and now the competence in terms of learning solutions, and that is what they bring to the table as they partnered with IIM Lucknow for this very unique industry integrated program. So let me talk about the Wiley Innovation Advisory Council, which is the advisory board behind this program. And again, as I said, this council has got industry experts, the who's who of analytics and AI in the country, right? So, I'm not sort of going through all of this, but let me take you through the members. So it's got 3 slides of members on the Wiley Council. So you have a few members from the academia, senior folks from the IITs and IIMs, all in here. Besides that, you have so you have 6 members from the academia, and on this slide you have 4 industry members. So you have Ajay Kelkar, who was earlier the Chief Marketing Officer at HDFC Bank. You have A.N. Rao, who was earlier the Global Head of Cognizant Academy. You have Anand, who's the CEO of Gramner. You have Anish Merchant, who's the Global Business and Head of at Course 5 Intelligence for Digital and Applied AI. Then you have, again, 2 more slides of industry members. So let me go through it slowly. And if you've been in business and data analytics, you may actually know a few of these industry experts and thought leaders. So you have Anjana from TCS, Anshu, who's the managing director, at Standard Chartered Bank. You have Arvind, who's a VP at Automation Anywhere. So that's one of the top RPA vendors in the world. You have Ashish, who's a senior director at eBay. You have Atul Jalan from Manthan Analytics. You have Bala from Techstars. You have Chris from Wells Fargo. You have D. Thomas from Aditya Birla, Devesh Singla from Paraxel. You have Ganesh Mahadevan from Atos, Lalit Ahuja from Answer Consulting, Mahesh from TVS, Nachiket from L&T, Dr. Nishant from Visa, Padmashri from Capgemini. She's the head of analytics and AI. You have Pankaj Kulseshwar. You have Pankaj Rai from Wells Fargo, Pramod Singh from Yardley. You have Prithvi Jeet Roy from Bridge I2I Analytics. You have Dr. Rohini Srivastav. She is the National Technology Officer for Microsoft India. You have Sameer, who was earlier with Fractal Analytics, now with iCurate. Sanjay Srivastav, who's a VP at American Express. Saraswati from Citibank Analytics. Shruti from Refinitiv. Shrikant from Emphasis. Sriram Rajagopal, who runs Diamond Pick, and he was earlier at Cognizant. Sudalai, you have Supriya from Western Digital India. Vijaya from Crayon Data, and of course Vikas Gupta, who's the managing director of Wiley India. So a full power packed council of industry experts, and these are the folks who've been advising on the curriculum, on the learning pedagogy. You would have about 10 master classes. Most of them would be taken by 10 of the folks from this council, right? So again, a pretty high impact program. Again, as I said, sort of combines the strengths of IIM Lucknow and Wiley, brings the industry into the picture here, and a very high impact program for your upskilling and for you to get on to the next level in your career. Now, So I represent Miles Education. We are the outreach partner for this program. So we work with Wiley to make sure that we spread the word about this program. We maximize the number of applicants on the eligibility test. As I said, there's going to be an eligibility test on the 4th of April. I'm sure you're already in touch with somebody at Wiley or somebody at Miles. So you can be in touch with your point of contact. Just in case you need the coordinator for the program from Miles Education, that's Akanksha Singh. I've put a number and an email on here. So you could drop her a WhatsApp or call her or anything, and she'll make sure that you have all you need to be set for this program. So before I open up for questions, a couple of things. Number one is the experience requirement for this program. So the experience requirement for this program is the original experience requirement is 4+ years of experience, for you to get on this program. But we've sort of got into IIM Lucknow because we got a lot of requests from fresh professionals who are already working in analytics and they wanted to upskill. And the requirement has been lowered down from 4 years to 1 year. However, if you have an experience between 1 to 4 years, IIM Lucknow is going to look at your resume before they determine your eligibility. So my question is, what's the number of experience that you have? Because the minimum requirement is 1 year, the preferred is 4+ years. So here's your poll. Okay, so here it is. Okay, so majority of the audience has 4+ years of experience. So you guys are all set. Those who have 1 to 4 years of experience, again, we would take your application form, of course, getting on the eligibility test, and then once the information goes to IIM Lucknow, depending on your profile and your eligibility test score, you would be accepted into the program. For those who have less than 1 year of experience, you're not eligible for the program yet, but you could look at this program once you at least have that 1 year of experience. Great. Okay, one last question from my side, one last poll from my side before we get into the Q&A mode. So here it is. There's nothing that you have to pay for the eligibility test. That's absolutely free. Only after you clear the eligibility test would you have to confirm your enrollment into the program. And given the COVID-19 situation, IIM Lucknow and Wiley have agreed to certain installment plans. So I don't think that's the biggest challenge. Okay, so here are the results of the poll. So 46% of the audience is looking at April 4th as your eligibility test date, and I wish you good luck and all the best. We look forward to getting you on board on this program. The rest of you want to take some more time to think about upskilling in business and data analytics. Sure. Anything that you need from us, please feel free to get in touch. Great. Okay, guys. So what I'll do right now is I'll open up for questions. Anish, if you could sort of also, if you're around and put your camera on. So guys, we'll sort of open up for questions. The questions can be either ways, about the relevance of business and data analytics. And I think Anish is the expert who will be able to address those queries. Or if you have any specific queries about this program, I'll be happy to take it up. So if you have a question, guys, a couple of things, raise your hand, number one. Not physically, you got a computer, so you got to raise your hand on the GoToWebinar panel and unmute yourself. So as of now, all of you are muted from our end. The moment I see your hand raised, I'm going to unmute you so that you're able to speak up. Right. So let's start with Aditi Pandey. Hi, Aditi. Hi, Aditi.
Hi, Anish, and hi,
Varun.
So I would like, hi, Varun. I would like to know the difference between velocity and volume of the big data from Anish.
Okay, so
Sure. So as the name suggests, Aditi, velocity is the speed at which the data is aggregated. Now, there was a recent study that was done by Harvard Business School, which said that the amount of data that we've generated in last 2 years is perhaps greater than the sum total of data that we may have had access of in last 100 years. So velocity is the speed at which the data is being generated. When I said it's 1 gigs per second, that's the volume of data which is generated. So essentially velocity is the speed and the volume is the amount of data that is being generated. Now, think of a simple scenario. Right now, if there are close to 200 attendees for this webinar, the speed at which the data is generated is an amount of data transfer that's happening every second. So it's a kbps to mbps or gbps. That's the velocity. The volume of data is the number of questions which have been asked, the recording of this session, and perhaps a slide that could be the volume side of the story.
Okay, thank you. And one more question I have is about the difference between descriptive analytics and predictive analytics.
Okay, just bear with me. Let me go back on the slide. That's okay.
I will make you the presenter, Anish. 1 second.
Thank you.
Yep, Anish, you are the presenter.
Okay, thank you. I hope you can see my screen now. Sorry, if you could ask your question.
Yeah.
Your question was the difference between descriptive and
predictive analytics.
Descriptive and predictive. Is that my right understanding? Okay.
Yeah.
So descriptive is about what happened. So let's take an example. If I have access to a data set, let's say the turnover of an organization for last 10 years, and a simple question is asked, what happened using, or can you derive a hypothesis of what has happened with that organization in the last 10 years? Now, using that balance sheet, you can either draw conclusion that the company has gone into a profit, has always registered profit, or has always registered loss. That's the what happened side of the story. In terms of predictive analytics, Aditi, you can use the same data set and actually also predict what will happen to that organization in next year. So let's say if the data sets comprising the balance sheet indicate that the company perhaps would be making losses in next year, the way you account that is, if the cost of sales is going high and the actual sales are diminishing, that means one of the hypotheses you can work on is the company will be reporting losses. Now, the way you validate that hypothesis is you actually take into account the current sales of that organization and also the marketing campaigns, and you can also measure the return on investment on the marketing campaigns and go back to the management and say, you know what, if you spend 100 rupees more as an example on the marketing campaign, the sales will actually improve. Or if you spend 100 rupees less, there would still not be any impact on the sales, but your sales will still go up. That means you are either telling the management that they can avoid a cost of 100 rupees in marketing while still managing the momentum of sales, or by investing another 100 rupees and increasing the sales. Broadly, that's the difference.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. Yes, Aditi, go on.
My next question is to you, Varun. Since I'm coming from a R&D background and I would like to switch to data analytics, my career into data analytics. So will this course help me in making my career into data analytics?
So Aditi, the one word answer is yes, yes, of course. So we're looking at a
Okay.
lot of professionals who have been working across various functions, across various industries, want to upskill in business. And that's why this program is business and data analytics, right? So this is basically data analytics, but a keen focus of how do you apply data analytics in business situations to create business value. So absolutely, Aditi.
I mean, is there any difference between the certification program or the classroom program? I mean, will it make any difference to the employer?
Absolutely right. So Aditi, when you sort of approach a potential employer, right? First thing is one of the things is your resume. So there you're looking at the IIM Lucknow name on your resume, the alumni status right there. So that's there. On top of it, you're looking at the real hands-on skills, and this program is power
Yeah.
packed. Because the agenda is not just to give you a tag, because that wouldn't take you a long way. The agenda is to really teach you and get you started, help you build up a mindset, teach you how to apply analytics in real life scenarios. And again, as you sort of build up your career in analytics, you'll be able to apply more and more and do better. So, it's skills plus credibility.
Sorry, Varun. So, Aditi, if I could also add, there is
Yeah.
a very strong notion in the between the candidates and the recruitment organization, and it could be any organization, is to hire candidates from elite or Ivy League colleges, right? So as you rightly said, whether the classroom program will make a difference, or whether this program, given this is not a full-time classroom program, will this have less weightage? If you talk from an MBA parlance, it may make a difference, but right now the way it works is, as you would see, none of the IITs, none of the IIMs actually have a full-time 2-year structured course in analytics. Analytics is still evolving. There are a number of, and trust me, if you go on the internet and even search for such analytics interventions, 90% of the interventions right now are offered either they are part-time or they are online, for only one reason, because analytics as a skill is expected to be in parallel to your current business domain or current business experience. So it's an add-on that you inherit to actually make your career future-proof. And particularly for programs like these, the ones like Miles are offering, the best part is this is a right blend of the technical aspect, the knowledge around the skill set or knowledge around analytics, complemented with interventions by industry experts. So not only you get what's theoretically applicable from an analytics standpoint, you also get a right view of how the industry is using this program or using the concepts of analytics. And the last bit that I want to add is, trust me, in today's parlance, it's less about the name of the college. It's also about how sound or capable are you? What's your understanding of business analytics? What's your understanding of these skills? So that's what I would say.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes, Aditi. Okay,
Yeah.
so Aditya Pratap. Hi, Aditya. Aditya, hi. Aditya, got to speak up. Okay, I'll move on. Ankit Jain. Hi, Ankit.
Yeah. Hi, Varun. Hi, Anish. Can you hear me?
Very well, Ankit.
Great. I have a couple of questions around the program. So I come from a research and analytics industry, but I don't have hands-on experience on either R or Python or the Tableau. I have heard of these, tools.
Sure.
So, given my, experience in these tools, what will be my, will there be any hindrance in my ability to grasp the content of the program? And uh, if once we go through the program, where do you see the skills of a person in terms of familiarity with the tool? So will I be a beginner or will I be a intermediate? I mean, how comfortability will I have in terms of being technically comfortable with the tool?
Okay. Okay. So Aditya, let me sort of do it in two parts. The first part is tools, and I think I'll leave that to Anish to answer. How important is it tools? In terms of your real work. But the way this program has been designed, basically it's not all about the tools, right? You have tools like the program focuses on Python, for data analytics, of course Tableau for data visualization, but what I've heard from all the industry experts and the thought leaders, it's not all about the tools, it's about the mindset, it's about the ability to convert a business problem into an analytics problem, right? So you may have teams where who are data scientists or who can do much more with data than you can, but as long as you have the business acumen to be able to drive that team and able to use data to drive decisions, I think that's what this program is focused on. But of course, it's not that it will not teach you tools. That there is a lot of focus on Python and Tableau. And even from the last cohort, I know a lot of candidates who had not used Python earlier in their careers, and this was the first time that they used, and they were very comfortable. They were very good. And of course, if you're slow in terms of learning the tools, or if you're slower than the rest of the class, then you put in a few extra hours, and that's about it, right? I mean, it's no rocket science to learn the tools, and it's pretty simple. Tableau, for that matter, even I use Tableau, and Tableau is also for non-engineers, right? So, there's no coding, nothing there, and even Python, it's the coding is more like writing English. I mean, and Anish, over to you to talk more about this.
No, sure. Thanks, Varun. So, yes, tools are important. In terms of learning curve, I would say if you are hesitant to start with Python, it's the easiest of all to an extent, and I can share my personal experience. I'm currently teaching Python to my 10-year-old daughter, and Python is being currently taught as is currently part of curriculum in many schools as well. So that's the level of difficulty Python is of. I had my levels of joy when I started learning Python, and it was just a couple of months ago. And trust me, within 2 days of reviewing Python, I was able to write my first code, though it was as simple as adding or dividing two numbers, but it's fairly easy. Yes, you would need to continue to practice. The more you practice, you will get a better understanding of the overall ecosystem of the various scripts and various formulas or methodologies of Python. That's about it. And the second is also try to delve in understanding of the logics as well. See, it's a very simple case. When we hire a candidate from an analytics perspective, we give 40% weightage to the technical side of the story and 60% to the logical side. Because if I get stuck on writing a code, it will take me 2 minutes to write, find a solution of that code on Google, and you can get it. However, if I don't know the logic, i.e., which table to match, which two sets of information do I need to find a meaningful analysis, I won't be able to progress. And that answer I will never be able to find on Google. So it's a mix of logical reasoning plus the technical aptitude. Technical is not that severely difficult. No one expects you to be an Einstein. If you know the full form of BODMAS that you may have learned during the good old school days, you can get success.
Okay, thanks. Thanks. Just one more question.
Sure.
Regarding the program, so I sometimes have to travel outside on weekends, and I sometimes is an area where I don't have internet connectivity. So in case people miss the classes, classes on the weekend, then is there a way to cover up, or I mean, what kind of support is available?
Again, the classes are all recorded, so you would have access to the recording if you miss the class, so that's fine. But it's still let's say even this webinar is getting recorded, but watching a recording is so boring, right? If you're there live, it's way more interactive. So if it's 1 or 2 classes, I think all participants are at a lot of them are at senior positions, and this is normal. So they sort of catch it up with the recording, and they're fine.
Okay, great. Thanks for my answering my questions.
Looking forward. Cheers, man. Okay, BK Gupta.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello,
Mr. Gupta.
Anish. Yeah. Hi. Yeah, I have a question. Like, is there any cyber security risk in this field actually? Hello.
Hi, yeah. So, Mr. Gupta, what I would say is not that this program is focused on cybersecurity, but that's one of the incidental exponential technologies that will be covered very briefly on this program. But this is more about business and data analytics than about cybersecurity, if that's something you're looking for.
Okay. No, I'm just looking like in this field actually, is there any possibility of cyber security risk? That was my question actually.
Yes,
Not for the
cybersecurity.
program, but when the,
You don't need data analytics for fraud and cybersecurity, and I think I'll pass it over to Anish to respond
yeah,
to
it is a
that.
question for Anish. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
sure.
Anish, please tell.
Yeah, so you said cybersecurity and risk and fraud. So cybersecurity is not just limited to data analytics. It's all about. So when you say use the word cybersecurity, it's all about information that is secure on www, on the World Wide Web. Yeah. So from a data analytics standpoint, there are certain parallel issues which we are trying to address right now. Of course, data security being one of them, given data is everywhere. How does an organization manage the data of its customer? How secure is the data? Yes, definitely there are interventions for that. And I think more so, one of the examples that I gave during my presentation was the biasness and unbiasedness aspect. Majority of outcomes of data analytics, sorry, go ahead. So majority of aspects of data analytics are based on the historic data set. Now, if your historic data set is skewed, the forecast that you will draw basis the historic data set also has a probability of being skewed. So we need to be mindful of the metrics that we are trying to include in the overall analysis, and see the outcome or decision should not be biased. So in summary, yes, there are a lot of aspects around keeping the data safe, ethical use of data, and safeguarding the customer information. So, and there are a number of other programs which focus on these, is what I would say.
Okay, so hope you got a response. I'll quickly. Yes. Okay, cheers, Mr. Gupta. Dipesh Ranjan. Hi, Dipesh.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, Varun and Anis. Actually, my concern is that I am having some experience in Python and some data analytics, but my overall experience is less than 1 year. So I am eligible for this or not?
Okay, your overall experience is less than 1 year. And when you complete 1 year, Dipesh, 1 year of experience?
I think in June.
In June. So see, what I'd say is, go ahead with the test. In your case, perhaps the May batch would be difficult, but we could look at you for the next cohort.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Cheers. Okay. Ganesh Prasad Sahu. Hi, Ganesh. Ganesh, you got to speak up. Okay. Ish Madan. Hi, Ish.
Hi guys, this is Ish Madara. I'm calling from Delhi, and it
Hi.
has been a really good experience to understand. Initially, I mean, it looked like a monster because I'm a non-technical person. Thank you so much for the webinar. My question would be to Anish. Anish, I have been to the sales since beginning of my career, and as of now, I'm looking into the domestic as international sales both. So from India, so I'm working with the American company. So we are dealing normally with the hospitality sector, and we have equipment for the hotels, and we have equipment for the healthcare sector as well. Like I told you, I have been into the sales since beginning, and I'm responsible for the business development in India and nearby the SAARC countries as well. I have developed interest in business analytics just because it's in these days, and so I have done some of my computers in my graduation way long back. So working into the sales sector since beginning, and do you really think that first of all I would be able to complete this course one? And second thing is, after completing the course, since I have no experience and how should I progress myself to be myself into the this vertical after completing this course?
Okay, so there are three things that I would perhaps want to cover. The first is, given the majority of your experience is into sales, I see no reason why you should not be using analytics. Correct me if I'm wrong. One of the key parlance around a sales job is to get more sales for the organization, right? And I'm not a sales guy. I've not been, successful in this part of the role. But I would say it's not an easy one. However, if I tell you that if you learn an art of trying to understand what your sales will look like for next 3 months basis what your sales have been for last 3 years, I think that will really help you. That's one. If I tell you that what you learn after learning business analytics, you will be able to identify reasons why, one, either your sales have not been growing or your sales have been exponentially growing, and you can replicate that best practice in other areas of the business. As you said, you manage multiple regions. That's the second bit. The third is the business analytics can actually help you to understand the causation and the correlation. So what is causing an enhance or a decline in sales, and what is the correlation between, as an example, COVID-19 and the hospitality on the sales? So and at times the biggest challenge which one faces is when it becomes a chicken and egg story. Which problem to address first. If I try to address problem A, problem B becomes more important. If I try to address problem B, problem A becomes more important. That's what analytics can actually help you. That's one. The second is, you said that you studied coding almost a decade ago. Correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe some years ago while you were studying in college. Can you run the coding now? Absolutely, yes. As I said, you don't need to be an Einstein. No one expects you to be a prodigy in maths or coding. If that was the bare minimum expectation of a professional in the analytics domain, trust me, 90% of analytics professionals will be out of job. That's not the expectation at all. The expectation is you need to learn a tool. To exactly the same way you may have learned Excel. I'm sure there would be a point in time when you started your career, you knew nothing about Excel, PowerPoint, or Word. Just take it as exactly the same way that right now you may know nothing about Python or SAS. All you need to do is learn that tool. That's it. The third part is the visualization and the data visualization and your overall industry experience. Tools like Tableau are the best tools to actually open a Pandora of opportunities for professionals. Tableau is not a tool which requires coding. And it's not me who is saying that, it's not Varun. You can log into tableau.com, look at the few demo videos, and you will yourself understand how easy it is to use Tableau. That's one. Companies need Tableau professionals as well, because the execs today don't want to see a chart which is in Excel. They would like to see an interactive dashboard which gets updated real time. Tableau would give you the power to actually create a dashboard which gets updated with every sale that you record in your CRM. And the last bit that I want to add is, having been in the sales for a long time, if you actually get into the business analytics setup, you also have a bright opportunity to move to other functions, whether it's sales is very closely associated with finance. It is also very closely associated with the business development side of the business. And it is also very closely associated with the marketing side of the business as well. And analytics is a universal skill. You can actually make yourself available or lay your hands on other areas as well and enrich your overall professional journey. That's from me.
So if I buy your point, so if I do this course, probably mid of next year when we complete this course, having no experience in this field would of course help me. But I mean, will I have to start from the scratch, or because I do not have a hands-on experience, do I need to learn something like that?
No, I would say no, not at all. See, as I said, when it comes to the analytics, side of the story, it's a combination of the business knowledge and the analytics side of the story. So you already have, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, almost a decade of experience. So those years of experience do not go waste. You actually will be accepted as an industry expert who's got 10 plus years of experience, which you are now enriching with analytics. It's not a start from scratch. And I can show you for that. And don't go by what I'm saying. It's a very simple trick. Go on to naukri.com, have a look. There's whenever we hire people, there are always two kinds of experience that we look at: an overall experience and a relevant experience. So your overall experience never gets discounted, because I may hire someone who may have just 1 year of experience in analytics, but what you may have learned in the last 10 years is far more valuable for me, because you would have a better sense of how to find a problem and if there is a challenge in the business. And courses like these actually fit these regimes, because they offer the right blend of the analytics and the industry perspective.
Okay, understood. Thank you so much. Thanks, Varun. Thanks, Anish.
Cheers, Ish. Ganesh, you're live. You want to ask your question, Ganesh? Ganesh Prasad Sahu. Ganesh, you want to speak up? Okay, I'll move on. Kunal Goel. Hi, Kunal.
Hello, for Kunal Goel.
Hi, Kunal. Yeah.
So I'm a software developer with 10 years of experience. I'm web development. So I want to upgrade myself to become a data scientist and a machine learning developer. So I want to know whether this course suits me, because I understand probably this is more for mid-level business managers. Is that understanding correct, or is this for really going to help me become a data scientist?
So I think, Kunal, this course combines both. It combines technology and business acumen. And you already have 10 years of experience. And as you move up the ladder, what we are looking at here is, of course, tech skills, because that's where data analytics and technology comes in. But it's also about tech skills from a business standpoint. How do I use technology to create business value? How do I use technology to increase my sales? How do I use technology to keep my customers happy, right? How do I use technology to keep my employees happy, to make my processes more effective and efficient? So it's all a business mindset using technology to solve the business problem. So that's how I, Anish, if you have a comment on this.
Yeah, sure. So being a software developer, I would say you're sitting on a heap of opportunity. It should be cakewalk for you to learn these tools, is what I would say. And I'm not sure what's stopping you from, getting into analytics. I would say you shouldn't waste even a single day. Just get on this journey, and you can really, really not just enrich, your professional journey, but add a lot of difference and bring a lot of value add in the analytics side of the business. Because analytics is not just about numbers. There are a number of other roles which sit within analytics, data engineering being one of them, data visualization being one of them, data scientist, data analyst. A software developer always have an edge, because you can fit into the engineering side of the data as well, the science side of the data as well, and analytics side of the data as well. So you actually have much more options.
Okay, thanks, Anish. Thanks, Varun. That helps.
Welcome.
Cheers. Okay, let me move on. Prateek Panchbai. Hi, Prateek.
Hello.
Hi, Prateek.
Hi, Anish, and are you able to hear me?
Yes, Prateek, we are able to hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, so my question was for Anish, and I wanted to understand the difference between what kind of job, or what kind of job is data analytics job, and what kind of job is the business analytics job. I am seeing that these terms are generally used interchangeably, and I don't understand the difference between these two jobs. And
You
do I
answered
need
the
to
question.
learn? Do I need to learn coding for business analytics jobs? So I just wanted to a small distinction between these two.
So, well, more or less you've answered the question yourself. These two terms are used interchangeably, whether it's data analytics or business analytics. See, if I was to ask you a simple question, what do you mean by business? Now, the business could be a business of textiles, it could be a business of pharmaceutical, it could be business of hospitality, it could be business of retail, it could be business of e-commerce, right? Now, if I take a substream and if I page or publish a job opportunity, I need an e-commerce analyst from a data analytics standpoint. You may feel that that's not business analytics, that's e-commerce analytics. Business analytics actually covers all of these, and you actually can get a job in any of the organizations which are actually currently looking for a data analyst as a key function.
Can I say that just an application of or application of tools of data analytics in business is business analytics? Is it something like that? Using the tools of data analytics in business is business analytics, something like that?
Yeah, I think you're bang on, Pratik. So Anish, what he's saying is data analytics is a slightly more technical, technical perspective. But this program is about using the tools and the knowledge of data analytics from a business standpoint, across businesses, across sectors, across functions. So Pratik, you're bang on.
Yeah, right. I understood.
Anything else that we could help you with, Pratik?
No, thank you. That's all.
Cheers, Pratik. All the best. Okay, guys, we have another guest. This is Arfaq. Arfaq was, one of the candidates who was part of the previous cohort of, the business and data analytics program at IIM Lucknow. And I'll sort of get Arfaq talk a little bit. Okay. Arfaq, can you hear us?
Yeah, Varun, I can hear you.
Okay, great. I mean, if you could also turn on your video, we'll also be able to see you. But in any case, that's fine. So, Arfaq is an alumni of the first cohort of the business and data analytics program. And Arfaq, it would be great, if you could share your experience, over the 6-month program that you had, and anything that you have for all these, we have a lot of prospective candidates. About half the audience are looking at giving the exams eligibility test on the 4th of April and joining in for the May cohort. So any tips, any experiences that you want to share with us, Arfaq?
Yeah, I can say. So starting with the exam first, exam is not too tough, neither too easy, to be honest. It's easy to crack. Someone who have studied, have some average mathematics skills, just going with deducing the logic and what question they are trying to ask. So I think that part is well sorted if you just try to revise the basics of logical reasoning and aptitude. That will be sufficient to pass the exam.
Sure.
But the next part here,
the program, your experience, did it add value in your career?
Okay, I'll add to that. So regarding obviously my time at the program, I was the youngest candidate in the whole batch. First of all, when I visited the campus for first immersion, I was like, everybody having experience of around 10 or plus years, especially people from the analytics side, non-analytics side, somewhere from warehousing, a couple of, when I got a chance to study with one of the AVPs in the batch, and the main learning was obviously the course, the structured course from the technical perspective, statistic perspective, and the machine learning perspective. But along with that, the main learning that came along was with the participants exchanging the ideas, what they are doing in their business using the data analytics, what are the problems different people are trying to solve within the group, and that does add value to my thinking skills and my critical thinking, like where I can apply in my organization. Within the course of program, I moved back, I changed my organization, and I moved to one of the big fours.
Okay, and
from where I work in a small analytics firm. Okay. Sorry.
So you joined one of the big fours while you were pursuing the program, Arfaq, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And that was it a progression in terms of your designation, role, paycheck, anything? I mean, was that a progression? I mean, how was that movement which you were able to achieve even before completing the program?
Yeah, it does help me, but again, I was working in the BI and analytics space since the starting of my career, so that does give me a fast adoption of the learning, and then that helped me in cracking the stuff.
Sure. So, anything else that you want to add, Arfak, about about after the program? Are you sort of able to use the skills on your job? Is it helping you in your current role? How's this coming together for you?
Yeah, that's definitely helping, and especially the best part of the program was the master classes. I can laud that, because people from the industry were trying to teach you real life learnings on analytics aspects. So we do had 10 master classes as of now in the last program from different area like HR analytics and something into banking sector and all other domain areas. So that really helped me a lot.
Great. So Arfak, if you could just be around for a little bit, and we
Yeah,
have a few other questions.
I'll
So
happy
guys.
to take the question.
Yeah. So anybody's got a question for Arfak? He's also around, and you could sort of, if you raise your hand, you could have a question for me or for Anish or for Arfak. All three of us are available. Let me see this. So we have Sandeep Panda. Hi, Sandeep.
Hey, hi everyone. This is Sandeep.
Hi, Sandeep.
Am I audible? Yeah, am I audible to you guys?
Very well. Yes, Sandeep.
Yeah. So I'm calling you from UK, and I wanted to know a few things. Like I've been associated with a few people who are working along with me in my organization, who have already been benefited by this program, and they had guided me to get this enrolled. I have a few queries about progression of my career if I get into this program, and how it is going to excel me as an individual and the industry as well.
Sure, Sandeep. So if you could be more specific about where you stand, and I think Anish would be able to sort of give you a few pointers.
Okay.
Sure.
So Anish, my question is, I've been working as a QA, quality analyst. I mean, a test analyst with Infosys currently, and I've been working into testing validations of IoT and AI related tools, but with no experience into development side of IoT. Just the configuration and validation of the connected devices with technologies like 5G and connected cars and all. So I mean, but I'm like not enough good at the technical programming side of it, like R or Python.
So if I was to ask you, what's your career aspiration? Because what you narrated, I think you already have a fairly good level of practical exposure to the future of work. That's where the entire workforce would be orienting itself, whether it's IoT, 5G, machine learning, or artificial intelligence. These are fairly broad, avenues. Is there anything in particular that you want to, perhaps focus, or have you thought about yourself that, what, I would like to do this?
Like I wanted to learn about machine learning and work in the interpretation of designing few algorithms, and helping industry specifying the like a kind of a rec engine and all to for the unstructured data and make it structured, and like a translation and transmission of data between systems. I just wanted to learn those concepts and things which I'm really unaware at the moment.
So I'll be very honest, and Varun, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. The current program, this intervention from IIM Lucknow and Wiley, is not a technical program. So if you want to learn machine learning side of the story, or the exact coding part and ability, and enhance your ability to work with qualitative, not quantitative data, this may not be the right intervention. And for that, there are a number of other interventions that you may have to look into. What you can gain as an outcome of
Anish, on this program, we do teach machine learning techniques and predictive modeling. So there is technology in machine learning using Python is taught, but it will not make you an expert in machine learning, if Sandeep, that's what you're looking at. But this will get you started in machine learning. And again, for every technical thing, every technical side, there's a business context added to it, and that's why it's an IIM Lucknow program and not an IIT program. If that is what we can say.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's what I was about to say. So this program would help you to get started because as Varun said, you get an initial view of what and how is it like playing with data. After this program is what you can continue your intervention, and within the analytics parlance and AI, and you use the word artificial intelligence, there is no limit to learning. I'm currently writing an article on engineering problem solving using machine learning, and trust me, the number of theorems or models you can embed that are just unlimited. There's no end to it. So, and that's why I said it is important for you to first draw clarity, because even right now what you said, the clarity about what you want to do is fairly broad. You need to narrow it down a bit and have an absolute starting point. There's always a risk when someone prefers to be or prefers to get into analytics space, and I'm happy to share this, is almost a year ago people used to say, you know what, I want to get into data analytics. Fair enough. Now people say, I want to get into data science. And if we ask people, gentlemen, can you tell me the difference between data science and data analytics? People are not able to even explain that basic difference. However, there is a big difference between data analytics and data science. So, and clarity is an important aspect. Yes, you can get enrolled for the courses, this course being one of them, but you need to have an absolute clarity of what you want to do.
Thanks for explaining. But I mean, will all these content and everything be available on online? Because I cannot be physically present at the campus for these courses to start with it for the moment.
The program is online over the 6 months. There are only immersions at the beginning and at the end of the program, and attending at least one immersion is mandatory. The preference is both, but at least one. So you will have to do a one trip to India after the COVID-19 situation is sorted. But the remaining everything is online. So for 3 days at least you'll have to be in India, if not all the 6.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, Sandeep. Okay, Sneha Lokare. Hi, Sneha. Sneha, you got to speak up. Okay, we have Shahrukh Khan on the webinar. Hi, Shahrukh. Shahrukh, you got to speak up. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Shahrukh.
Okay.
Are you calling from London?
What?
No, nothing, Shahrukh. Just kidding.
Okay. So I just want to know, do you have something to show on the success of the people who have been through this program? And I can see from the second question is, I can see from the program curriculum, I already know about a lot of things here. So how, like, from my perspective, I don't see much like for me here. If you can if you can tell us the what could be the end goal of it.
So Shahrukh, what's your background now? So how many years of experience do you carry? What function, what role are you working at?
I have experience of 2 years, and I've been involved in data analytics mostly on the uh, machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence, uh, chatbots and everything like this, things like NLP and all.
The way I
Yes.
Yeah. So Shahrukh, the way I look at this program, right? So technically, you may already know Python. You may be doing stuff around data analytics and machine learning. But what this program will do is help you take a back seat and help you understand how do you apply all that technical knowledge, which is also provided on this program and which you're already good at, into business cases, right? So if there is a business problem, let's say finance has a problem, or let's say a healthcare business has a problem, or an e-commerce or a retail business has a problem, how do you solve that? Or if there's a problem with marketing, how do you solve that? So this again, as we discussed, as Anish also discussed, this is an IIM program, right? So the focus here is not just on the technicals. I mean, technicals is a part of it, no doubt, but this is also about applying that technical knowledge into business case scenarios. So you may know a lot of the tools, which is a great. So you may be better than a lot of people in the class. But and I'm sure with your years of experience, you've not been able to. I'm not sure whether you've had the opportunity of applying all the data analytics across various sectors and solving a lot of CXO level problems. So that is what this program would help you, give you the business acumen, business expertise around the technical knowledge that you already have.
Okay, and my first question is about whether do you have something to show on the success of the people who have been through this program?
We have Arafak, who's joined in from the last batch. Arafak, if you could just talk about your the fellow the cohort and your batchmates, and how do you see them, and how do you see yourself after the program? Arafak, yeah.
Yeah, Varun. I think Saruk asked the question.
Yeah, Shahrukh
Yes,
asked the
yes,
question.
Yeah, Saruk. So basically, if you talking about the success of the program, is like to be honest, if I started, I was already working on data analytics problem, but the way I look at the problem after the program is something different. It give me a couple of perspective to look into the problem. How can I solve it? But before that, I used to have a fixed mindset. Let's start with the step one, go to the step two, and solve with the step three. So that does enrich me with a lot of perception, lot of people into different as our batchmates are from different industry. From someone is from the payment bank, someone is from the pure banking sector, someone is from manufacturing, someone is from other aspects, life sciences and all. So it was really good learning from terms of different industry exposures. And again, with the master classes, I got to solve a couple of problems just attending those master classes. For example, if I take one master class I attended was HR analytics, and we were trying to do something with the L&D department of firm for our client, and we don't have a clue. After attending that particular master classes, I got much clarity on how to approach the problem head on, and then uh, uh, reach out to a solution.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers, Shahrukh. So again, the typical batch, Shahrukh, the requirement is 4+ years of experience for this program. So most of the candidates are going to be with more years of experience than you have, and we've taken an exception because even in the last batch we had a lot of candidates with 2 years or 3 years of experience really wanted to get into the program, but we had to say a no because of the eligibility requirement. At this time, we have gotten IIM Lucknow to relax the requirement from 4 years to 1 year. Given the condition that IIM Lucknow will review the profiles in detail for 1 to 4 years, and case to case they will accept. So that's
Okay,
the
okay.
story. Most of
Yes,
the
got
candidates,
your point.
average experience in the last batch was 10+ years. So it was a huge experience sitting in the class. Even in this batch, we're expecting at least a 6 to 7 year average experience of the batch.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers, Shahrukh. Okay, Upasna. Hi, Upasna.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, Upasna.
Hi, Arun and Anish. I'm Upasna. Actually, I graduated in mechanical engineering and working in oil and gas industry. So my question is, if I will choose this course, it will be convenient for me or not?
So what do you do in the oil and gas industry, Upasna, and what do you see as your career progression?
Yeah, my part is laying and testing and commissioning of steel pipelines for oil and gas industry.
So I don't know your industry too well, Upasna, but what I know is there is a lot of data analytics in the oil and gas industry in terms of exploratory as well as operations. Anish, if you have a little bit more insight on that, that'll be great. But I think, see, everything is about, every company is a data company, every company is a technology company. So I go with that, but Anish, more specifics if you have any.
Yeah, sure. So, if you look at it to a large extent, the financial results of companies in many sectors of the oil and gas largely depend on the performance of complex capital-intensive process facilities. But now the way it works is the oil and natural gas companies have, and they previously not have had the tools and capabilities which are needed to operate these assets at their maximum capacity. I personally know of a gentleman who is head of analytics at Reliance, Petroleum, for example, and he's based out of Jamnagar. And I had my surprise moment when I met him and he introduced himself, and that's exactly the same question that I asked him. What do you do in the oil and natural gas space, with the data? So what's really changed? Put simply, the analytical tools and techniques have advanced far and fast, and to the point that they can unlock the production potential of complex process facilities and enhance the asset investment as well. That's the way I would look at it. And if it's applied properly, the advanced analytics team can yield returns of up to 30 to 50 times on the investment within months of implementation. So you actually are in the right domain, and analytics is actually picking up in oil and natural gas. No reason why you shouldn't be picking this course. I would say it's a must for you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, thanks, Upasna. Vikrant, hi, Vikrant Pusa.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Vikrant.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very well, Vikrant.
Yeah, hi. I have a professional experience of 8 years in technical. I work on Python. So basically, I'm a technical developer. So I'm looking at more like a business perspective, what I can learn from there. Because when I see all the curriculum, it teaches the technical aspects. So what about the business aspects? Is there in the curriculum, or how it gonna be? Can you elaborate?
So,
If it's
so Vikrant, if I would say so, the program and even the nomenclature of the program, right, Vikrant, it does not say it's a data analytics program or a data science program. It is business and data analytics, right? So this is basically data analytics as it applies in business, and that's basically the strength of IIM Lucknow in terms of preparing future-ready, future-proof business professionals. And now we are looking at how do business folks, how do business leaders use technology, use data, use analytics to create business value. So Vikrant, all your cases, all your master classes are around, how does analytics, how does technology, go in with, business, and as we said, across business functions, across business sectors, across industry sectors.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers, Vikrant. Okay, let's see. B. Rao, Rao, you have a question?
Yeah, actually, I would like to know what about the data engineering role here?
Data engineering. Okay, on the face of it, Anish, how would you sort of compare this program with the data engineering program? Will a data engineering program be way more technical?
Yes, absolutely. So data engineering is definitely more technical. Data engineering is all about how to make data ready for analytics. So it is about extracting the data from the source, raw data from the source systems, where it could be Hadoop, it could be Teradata, designing the tables, which are the right tables, identifying or drawing the data architecture, naming the or designing the nomenclature of the data. That's 100% on the technical side of data analytics.
Oh, okay. So I suppose I have a knowledge on automobile industry, but I want to have in other domains also. So how this helps this course?
So sorry, when you say you have a knowledge of automobile industry, is it from a core manufacturing setup or the data side of the automobile industry?
It's a data side of the automobile industry.
Yeah, so the way this course will help you is this course will put a structure in terms of what you already know. It will equip you to tell the story about the data to your management. It will equip you to visualize the data. It will equip you to understand and analyze data in a much better way.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
So it's across.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Varun. There's just one thing that I want to add. The number of questions which are around. I belong to industry A. Can I get into this course? I belong to industry B. I want to take quick 30 seconds and give you a very simple example how data analytics is agnostic of the industry. I recently hired a candidate while I work in a bank. I recently had a candidate from a pharmaceutical industry who was a data analyst at a leading pharmaceutical company. It's a global pharmaceutical company. And we had actually, within the banking, we designed a model using machine learning, which actually predicts the probability of default of the customers from a loan perspective. And our model was actually giving an accuracy of around 60-65%. When we hired this gentleman, we gave the exactly same problem to this guy, and he used the model, and the accuracy of his model was 99%. And we were completely surprised. We asked him, buddy, what did you do? He said, I used the model that we used in pharmaceutical to identify probability of success of a drug when it's a clinical trial. Now, clearly, in clinical trials, you cannot live with a probability of 60%. That means 100 out of 40 out of 100 people will die. So there has to be a much better success rate. And that's the beauty of data analytics. It's agnostic. So the model that you may have created, or the theory that you may have created for one sector, it's 101% replicable in any other sector, because the key underlying principle is data. You've got the data points. That's it. Sorry, Varun, over to you.
Wow. No, this is great. And what I have here is, anyways, the quote from Forbes that I started with. So every company is a technology company, and every company is a data company. So I think this goes across functions, across industries. So I hope we're able to address your question, Mr. Rao. Okay, we'll move on. Ganesh Prasad Sao. Ganesh, I see you have a couple of logins, and from my side, you're unmuted on both the logins.
Hey Anis, hey Varun.
Hey.
I'm sorry. Actually, I was connected with my laptop. I know that's not working on that. No, it was not unmute. But I started connecting in my mobile. So I had a question here. Is I have more than 18 years of experience working as an enterprise architect. And some point of time, I worked just 6 years back in data analytics and Hadoop. Very rare, hardly of 2 to 4 months I have worked, and it's completely out of touch. So how does it going to help me to move ahead my career with this business analytics, business and data analytics?
And what do you currently do, Ganesh?
I'm still working as an enterprise architect. I currently working in Salesforce and some of ETL tools. So this is I learned even I knew that Python sometime back. I worked in RTool, not SAS, but no RTool I have worked, but no practically I didn't implement the RTool. But practically I had implemented the Python for some time. But it's any of the technical tools you take it, you do the mathematics, the tools are same thing. So once you are not using, it's completely gone.
You work on Salesforce or you work for Salesforce?
I'm not in Salesforce now. I'm in completely working right now in healthcare, and we are using Salesforce, customizing the Salesforce, and taking the data from different data lake systems to the Salesforce.
Okay, so Anish, you want to sort of add to it, and the reason I was asking you Salesforce is because I know Salesforce acquired Tableau some time back, but Anish, over to you.
No,
even
absolutely.
Salesforce has that now. Einstein also. I'm sorry to add here. Salesforce also has that Einstein. That also added value as part of the data analytics. What I know, but no, I just wanted to know how it is going to help me in my 18 years of experience and to move ahead with my career.
Sure.
So I would perhaps use a word called jadi booty, or it's or as we call that is in Hindi, in English is a magic herb, or perhaps a beauty cream. The advertisements of beauty cream, which features on television. If you apply this beauty cream, you will look young. While I don't trust in the beauty creams and any of the herbs, but I do have a trust in this program that if you actually run through this intervention, your 18 years of experience would be enriched by another 10 years. That's all. So it's going to add 10 years to your 18 years of experience. That's for sure. While it will not add 10 years to your current age. So it will make you more relevant, acceptable in the industry. And if you're more relevant and acceptable, that means you are younger than what you were before. So this program will help you bridge the gap between your process technical knowledge, and you have a fantastic number of years of experience. I think you should just leverage on it. What's stopping you?
Sure. I think that's really answers to my questions. I'm really happy for it. Now you answered it really very well. Thanks very much.
Welcome.
Ganesh, cheers. Looking forward to see you on the program. And Ganesh, just a point, and I got a message from Jagriti in Wiley, and for the last cohort, when we took a feedback at the end of the program, we got NPS recommendation score, and we've done an NPS survey, and we got a recommendation score of 8.9 out of 10. Right, so it was a very senior cohort, and everybody was super happy with the program. Of course, all of them today are IIM Lucknow alumni. Guys, we are a little beyond time. We were supposed to end the webinar at 7. We are at 7:10. We'll take a couple of more questions before we wrap up. On my screen, I have put in Akanksha's details. Anything that you have which relates to the program, she would sort of be able to coordinate and get you the answers, help you with the application. So you could sort of get in touch with her. Anyways, all the data that we're collecting is going to her. But in any case, if you want to be proactive, get in touch with her. She will make sure you're all set. But a couple of more questions before we call it a day. Mithul, hi. Mithul, you're muted at your end.
Yeah, hi. First of all, thank you, Varun and Anish, for this wonderful session. Okay, actually, I have a couple of questions. Okay, I would just go crisp considering the time crunch. Okay, first of all, can sessions be attended from a specific location, or will it be open from a home location itself?
Mithul, couldn't hear you. You got to come again. Mithul, we're sort of losing you. Mithul, if you could type in question on the question box, take it from there, because I think your signal's not so good. So Mithul, if you could type in the question on the question box, I'll take it up from there. Okay. Ram Sukhit. Hi, Ram Sukhit.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Anish. Actually, my question is for you. So, like you mentioned that in data analytics, there is usage of statistical models and quantitative models. So I just wanted to know, so will this course also cover in credit risk, for example, LGD, PD, and EAD model? And could you please just shed some light on this?
So I'll redirect this question to you, Varun. You're more close to the course curriculum. Would you be able to answer?
Arafak, if you would be able to answer, I mean, he's an alumni of the program. So
yeah, Varun. So basically, yeah, it does cover a lot of model discussion as well, but what to use when based on the problem type of it. But yeah, it doesn't cover every model that you expect from every domain, but it covers most of them from which are mainly used in different domains to solve the problem.
So for example, say risk domain and credit risk. So will it cover in risk which all the models will cover?
Yeah, in banking master classes, we do have in data enrichment section a couple of models, not into the credit risk as far as I remember.
Okay, I understood. So Anish, this question is for you. I have been working in this
banking as well as risk analytics. Ram, if that helps, on banking as well as risk analytics. So they are master classes, they're industry folks. See, Ram, the point is a lot of things are happening in the class. What I also know, even from the previous cohort, is you network a lot with folks from industry experts and thought leaders who are coming in, and there are a lot of things which are also done off the class, right? I know of folks from the previous cohort who got in touch with the industry experts or the folks who had come in for the master classes. and connected with them offline, on various models and various advanced discussions. And even the IIM Lucknow professors, very, very reachable. So the point is, if you have some specialized models that you want to vet or you want to build up, I'm sure you're going to have a lot of help on this program from your peers and from your coaches, your professors, your industry experts to help you out with things.
Yeah, thanks, Varun. And still, I have questions for Anis. Anis, I have been working in the industry in corporate investment bank for last 6 years. So I have developed some of the model for Basel and credit risk, but it was only for programming side. I did not have any sort of understanding of data. For example, if we take understanding of counterparty credit risk or anything, so I currently unable to understand the data most of the part, but I have worked on that little bit functionality, knowledge of functional as well. So what do you think, which area should I focus on from here? I wanted to be in a domain for I wanted to go in a domain of where we can develop a credit risk model and do analysis, so that that can be help in taking some good business decisions.
So given your experience, I would say you should continue in the credit and risk analytics side of the business. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch when you said you've worked on a model, but you don't have data. So have you designed the model for the business?
So it was kind of reporting kind of things. I have worked on a reporting for Basel, that was a state regulatory reporting, and also
I understand what Basel is,
reporting. Yeah.
Okay, no, yeah, that's fine. So I think it depends on your organization whether they have a credit and risk analytics team. If not, I'm so sure whichever organization you're employed with, they will definitely have a data and analytics team. And it does happen how organizations are structured. There could be a standalone team or there could be one dedicated team. But I think you should definitely move towards that side of the business. I'm not sure what level of skill set do you have from R and Pythons or SAS or SQLs of the world. If that's the delta, then I think you should be focusing to bridge that gap.
Okay, so I just wanted to understand from functional point of view. For example, I have been working with means programming language like SAS almost 6 years, and recently I have started learning Python as well. So from functional point of view, career in credit risk, what all things will you suggest?
So I think business knowledge is something which is really important. The second is learn the tools like R and Python, I think. And the third is the data visualization. Tableau is really important because end of the day, if you're able to showcase what you're working on, that will be a right mix and balance.
Yeah, so like you said earlier that it is more of 60% logical part and 40% of technical parts. So I just wanted to understand, if we do not have functional knowledge of things, then it is very difficult to get logical while applying logic without understanding functional point of view. So according to that point of view, so how do you think that I should be focused more on functional point of view or more on technical, as I am already aware of technical things like SAS and more into going into Python?
See, if I would leave that for your self-assessment. If you've already designed models from a functional standpoint, I would say look at where the industry is progressing. If there's any particular regulatory course that you may need to do, or from an accounting standpoint, CPA, CMA, that's another intervention that's offered by Wiley and Miles. So that's a decision I would leave up to you. I can guide more from a technical perspective.
Okay, thank you, Anis, and thanks, Varun.
Welcome.
Cheers, Ram Shukit. Cheers. Okay, we have Rimala Pudi Sriram. Hi, Sriram. Sriram, you muted at your end.
Yeah, hi. Am I audible, please?
Yes, very well.
Yeah, my question is, in the recent talk, Anish answered like it is not where you have done the course, it is like how good confident are you are at the end of the course. My doubt is like the other social platforms like Udemy and all are providing these same courses for a lesser price. Why should I opt this path only?
See, Sriram, what I would say, right, there are two facets here. Number one is skills, and number two is credibility, right? So this program gives you the credibility of an IIM Lucknow alumnus. So that's one. Second, even from a skilling perspective, right? I mean, you could do, you could learn Python online, you could learn Tableau online, and of course, you don't need any program, and you could learn it free of cost on edX or Coursera. But it's not about the tools; it is about applying, that technical knowledge from a business context. And this program creates a cohort where you have a lot of peer-to-peer learning. You learn from IIM Lucknow professors who are the best in the country. You learn from industry experts and thought leaders who are the who's who of analytics and AI in the country. So, if you think an Udemy program, an edX program, or a Coursera program can give you the same exposure, I mean, I would sort of tend to disagree on that. So even from a skilling perspective, this is, from a business context. I mean, why does somebody need to do an MBA from IIM or, any top institution or a Harvard, Stanford, if everything can be done online, right? I mean, so the point is, this program again, there are online contexts to this program, but that online is also as a cohort, right? So if you are in the batch and you have your batchmates and the professor, all of you are connecting, let's say on Zoom or webinar every week for 4 hours, and there's live online interaction and learning. Plus, on top of it, you're traveling to the IML campus. So I would say, skilling perspective, this program is way more than an online program could offer, because this is not just about technical skills about Python and Tableau. This is more about applying that in a business context. And number two, at the end of the program, you carry the alumni status from IIM Lucknow. Which is any day a value, right? I mean, let us say an HR has a mandate that they're only looking at folks at that level from Ivy League, institutions. Your resume would pop out because you have IIM Lucknow on there.
And if I could answer, do you watch features on Netflix or Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
So it's the difference. It's exactly the difference between Udemy and the courses that we're talking right now is exactly the same as of a YouTube video and that on Netflix. That's one. The second is, as Varun rightly said, the credibility and the ability to embed the practical experience that a Udemy's, or Byju's the world will not be able to offer you.
Yeah, I also agree that.
So Sriram, I mean, you do understand it. IIM Lucknow is among the top 4 IIMs, and any program that they create, I know for a fact it took over a year to finalize this program, and I know the number of meetings that happened between the council members, the IIM Lucknow senior professors. So this is a well thought out, high impact program, because for an executive program, what the focus is, every hour is precious. I mean, I'm not saying they don't do that for the full-time programs. Of course, they do it there as well. But for an exec program, they know that you're looking at senior executives, and every hour needs to have an impact. So that's been the background on the program here. So I'm sure this is going to be a life-changing experience for those who are on the program. So
Yeah, I have few more questions. Just I will make it short.
Sure.
Yeah, I will make it in one statement. What is the strength of this course, and will be offering any scholarship for this course, and we can pay in installments or not, and is there any bank loan being provided for this course? Can you please answer for this?
Yeah. So so what happens right now is, on the program, the fees is, so if you pass the 4th April exam, you need to pay 49,000 plus GST, to confirm your admission. The remaining 150,000 plus GST is payable by the first week of May. Now, there absolutely are bank loans on this program where, typically very low, like an education loan, interest about 8 to 10% kind of a thing. So there are loans available, and we have tie up with a couple of NBFCs for that, for a quick disbursement. So what else did you ask, Sriram?
Are there any scholarships and installment-based payments?
So installments, yes, that's two installments that you have. Scholarships, again, this is an executive program, Sriram, and all the people coming in the program are paying the same fees. So there is no sort of a disparity that we run there. So it's a common flat fees.
Yeah, thank you. That's all from my side.
Cheers, Sriram. All the best. So I see a few more hands. Let me just see. Mithul, hi. Are you on a better line now?
Yeah, hi. So my question was more around, so one of the question which that got answered on the chat. Okay, thank you for that. First of all, I would like to thank you and Anish for this wonderful presentation. Okay, my question would be more around, since so I'm already working with the kind of a data engineering, data analytics, and AI field for almost like 8 years. Okay, so what I'm looking out is for more kind of a branding. Branding with the kind of a big institute. Okay, so how would this program be able to help me with that, considering it is being operated from the Noida campus, not from the Lucknow campus, and also it doesn't have the campus placement? Okay, so do we have any kind of campus placement which is being associated with this particular course?
Okay, so let me answer that one by one, Mithul. First thing, Lucknow campus versus Noida campus. Both these are IIM Lucknow campus, and if you realize, both of these campuses are within Uttar Pradesh, right? So the territorial jurisdiction. So both these campuses are run by IIM Lucknow. So there is no difference between the Lucknow and the Noida campus. The reason why IIM Lucknow created the Noida campus is for executive programs. And there is also a full-time executive program which runs in from the IIM Lucknow Noida campus. So if you go on the IIM Lucknow website, you have a program called IPMX, which is again a one-year full-time program by IIM Lucknow, which is from the Noida campus. So both these, and the reason why they created Noida campus for executives is traveling to Lucknow. Now Lucknow does not have as much of connectivity as Delhi, right? So that is that was perhaps the thought when they created the Noida campus. So there is zero difference, and this is, I mean, fully IIM Lucknow professors, and the same professors keep shuffling between Lucknow and Noida. So there is zero difference. Rather, the Noida campus has more of an executive feel around it, because it is only for executive programs, including the full-time IPMX program by IIM Lucknow. So that is basically one, and as far as placements are concerned, Mithul, let's understand that no B school, and I could talk about the IIMs, I can talk about the Harvard and the Stanfords and the Whartons. No B schools offer placements for any executive program, and I'll tell you why that happens, right? Because in most of these programs, a sizable number, sometimes a majority is company sponsored, and a company will not sponsor a candidate into the program if there is a placement at the end of the program, because a company, a Deloitte or an Accenture or a World Bank or a Boeing will not sponsor their candidates for any program if they know that at the end of the program they will join another company and the placement is facilitated as part of the program. So that is one of the reasons why exec programs don't offer placement, formally as part of the program. However, you do a lot of networking as part of the program, and with those networks, it really helps you if you want to change your job. Typically, the suggestion is look at a progression in your current firm, but if you know for a fact that that's not happening, or that's not the firm you're really interested in, then of course you will find a lot of opportunities with the networking that you get, and you're going to be part of the IIM Lucknow alumni network. So you will have crazy amount of networking. And Arafak is on this call, and his example is also one where even while he was pursuing the program, he moved from his current company and joined one of the big four with a 70% hike in paycheck. And he said that I'm pursuing this program from IIM Lucknow. Even that was a lot of credibility. So and a lot of senior folks in this program, they're not looking at a job change, they're looking at progression in their careers. But if you're looking at a job change and you go to an interviewer, whether it's an HR person or a business head, and you say, I've done a business and analytics program from IIM Lucknow, that's a lot of value. And you have the alumni status on you, you're part of the alumni pool. Rather, you pay 10,000 rupees, which is a one-time fees for the lifelong alumni status.
Okay, sure. Okay,
Cheers,
thank
man.
you.
Cheers.
Thank you. That answers my question.
Thanks so much, guys. I think we will call it a day now. Thank you so much for everyone coming in. We spilled over 30 minutes beyond time. I see a few hands raised. Upasna, Ram. So if you have questions, you can get in touch with Akanksha. You could also drop me a line at varun.jain@mileseducation.com, varun.jain@mileseducation.com. We would be able to connect you to folks who will be able to answer your queries, whether it's about the program or more technical. So thank you so much for joining in, staying with us for the extended 30 minutes. Thanks, Arafat, for coming in. Thank you, Anish, for not 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Varun. Bye-bye.
Progression. Cheers.
Bye all.